that's how you have to look at it. He was fantastic today, and you get that performance, and he starts doing that at this time. I think that bodes well for us as we get into postseason. And he was simply phenomenal today, and he's actually been pretty darn good the last few outings. So that was a huge plus for us.
The fifth inning, it looks like, or after he gave up those two singles, you went out to the mound, talked to him. He strikes outside after that. What was the nature of that conversation?
Just good coaching. No, it's just slowing things down a little bit for him and executing his pitches, and he did exactly that. And that's all him. And just as part of that, what you're seeing in front of your eyes is the maturation process of guys. Maybe last year or maybe early in the season, he lets the anxiety grow. I think he's just getting himself under control and recognizes the fact that if he continues to execute his pitches, he has the real ability to get out of it. And that was one more step in proving that to himself and the team today.
But what's the bigger piece of his start, the 11 strikeouts or the no walks?
You look at the throwing strikes. Honestly, getting ahead and using the secondary and mixing up in the zone. You do that, you're going to have a chance to win.
Is that his key, is when he can command the fastball like that, how it opens up everything else he's got?
Everything else coming off that, and being able to locate that secondary stuff.
Because he didn't get a full season in last year, do you think it's just been one of those things where it's taken him like half of this year or into the second half before he really started to put this together?
Yeah,
He has the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's just getting out there and performing and over again, and experiencing those successful situations and knowing there's a difference between knowing and thinking, but knowing that you can get out of bad situations and knowing what that feels like and learning. So I think what you're seeing, I said to his question, is you're just kind of seeing that development piece right in front of your eyes.
Carter was in here talking about how he feels like the last couple of weeks he's finally been able to start to see the ball better and he's finally coming around. What have you seen in him trying to work out what's been an up and down year at the plate for him?
Yeah, just cutting the swing down a little bit, staying within himself, not trying to do too much. And if you got a guy like that, to middle latter part of your order, being able to still hurt you with one swing, it certainly is good for him, but it's very good for us too. So I think it's just him working hard at his craft, hard at his trade, to get better and do what it takes to help the team win.
Tracy, what are your feelings going into next week? Just in general, how the team's playing and what you'd like to see from them.
Well, welcome. I didn't know you were here. How was the beer today?
Beer was great, very refreshing.
Yeah, look forward to seeing a picture on Twitter with beer.
It was a little bit hot for it, so I needed it.
This has been, as you know, it's been a couple of years of, a little disappointment, but it's been a couple of years of guys working to get to this point. And, as difficult as this loss is, if we win this thing, certainly you feel different as a competitor, but it has nothing to do with postseason. Now is everybody starts 0-0, and it's just like today, this season, or this series against a really, really good opponent who's arguably one of the better teams in the country on paper and performance. We're one swing of the bat away, so I like our chances. You go back to the UCLA series, we're one swing of the bat away from winning that series. You go back to Oregon State, we're one swing of the bat away from that. So if you take all that stuff and you trade it in, I'll trade it all for let's do it when it counts. And right now, all that we're looking forward to is seeing our name called as one of those 64 on Monday. And now the season's, it doesn't matter what has happened up to this point. It doesn't matter what happened last year, the year before, or quite frankly, the last 30 years here. It does not matter. All that matters is seeing who you got and then focusing on that game next week. But I'm proud. We're not where we want to be, but I'm proud on the fact that we're going to be in a position to handle things on our own. And quite honestly, I feel good about our chances. I really do. Boyd's throwing well at the right time. Rizal, Davovich, those guys are more than capable. Corrigan gave us good innings yesterday. I don't think you're going to hold that lineup down like we have, and you know how hitting comes and goes. So, bottom line is get in a tournament and then go settle that stuff on the field. And unless something crazy happens, which I don't foresee, I think we're going to have that opportunity to do that.
Do you think it helps that pretty much every one of the guys hasn't experienced the lead up to a postseason play, hearing their name called, to just keep them in the one day at a time mindset, kind of just like to roll through it one day at a time?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think experience is fun too. You don't need it. Now, you've got some guys, I mean, like a guy like Spencer Torpus, well, he has not played in the postseason yet, but he's been on the world stage with USA, but, you know, stuff like that. So I think these guys, you know, I think it's gonna be fun because we've been so tournament starving, that it's gonna see that maybe, you know, my mind guy back there, again, we have to talk about where you wanna be on the dial. I think Scotty P, I think it's gonna be neat to see him turn up a little bit too. Postseason play is fun. I mean, it's because you know if you don't get it done, you're going home. And I think our challenge will be is just making sure we stay in the moment, stay locked in, and not try to do too much. And you know, that's going to be our challenge as a coaching staff to make sure that we're just handling business. Because I'm not just doing coach talk here. I feel like we've got enough talent, and just some minor adjustments, we got enough to do some damage, you know. But you got, I've said it 1,000 times, you got to be good, but you got to be lucky too. And today we were unlucky. But I'll trade all of that. I'll start getting some of our bounces next week.